All right, so in this lesson, we are going to divide fractions, and we're going to divide fractions with negatives. So really quickly, I want to remind you of the negative rules. So when you have a positive divided by a positive, your answer is going to be positive. When you have a negative divided by a negative, your answer is also going to be positive. So these guys right here are if you have the same sign. Now, you could also have a different sign. So if you have a negative divided by a positive, that is going to result in a negative answer. And if you have a positive divided by a negative, that is also going to give you a negative answer. So you want to keep those things in mind as we work through some of these problems today. All right, so first off, when we're dealing with dividing fractions, there's something called a reciprocal. So a reciprocal is a very fancy word, but you do need to know what it means. So reciprocal is a fraction that is flipped upside down. So here we have 3 over 4, and the reciprocal of 3 over 4 is simply 4 over 3. And that's all it is it's a fraction that's flipped upside down. Okay, so real quick, let's practice the reciprocal of these numbers. So the reciprocal of 1 over 2 would be 2 over 1. The reciprocal of 4 over 3 would be 3 over 4. The reciprocal of 2 over 3 would be 3 over 2. The reciprocal of 5 over 7 would be 7 over 5. Now, how do you do reciprocal of a whole number? So if I give you the whole number 2, you're going to simply put it over the number 1 and then flip it. Okay, so you're just going to make the denominator a 1 and then you're going to flip it. So let's practice some of those real quick. Actually, before we practice those, let's talk about mixed numbers. So when you have a mixed number, you're going to make it improper first. Okay, so you're first going to make it improper and then you're going to flip it. So here we have 2 4/5. So you're going to make it improper. So you're going to do 5 times 2, which is 10, plus 4, which is 14 over 5. Now, once you get 14 over 5, you still have to flip. A common mistake that students make is they get to this 14 over 5 and it already looks like it's flipped, so they forget to flip. You need to make sure that you flip still, okay? So let's try some of those. So here we have a whole number, so we're going to put it over 1, and now we're going to flip. All right, here's a mixed number. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2, that's going to be 14 over 3. Now we have to flip 3 over 14. Okay, let's try this other one. 4 times 2, that's 8, plus 1, that's 9 over 4. Now flip 4 over 9. All right, here we have 12. We're going to put it over 1. Now flip 1 over 12. So that's reciprocal, and that's really as hard as reciprocal gets. But reciprocal is very important for dividing fractions. Okay, so how do we divide fractions? Well, we use something called KCF, not KFC like the restaurant, but KCF. And it just simply stands for keep, change, flip. And I'm going to show you how it works. So here we have 1/2 divided by 1/4, okay? And I use a little tic-tac-toe system here because it helps keep you organized. So I draw a tic-tac-toe board, I put 1/2, then I put the divided by symbol in the middle, and then I put 1/4 in the last box. Across the middle row, I put keep, change, flip, or you could just write KCF, that makes it shorter. And then I work my way down. So I keep 1/2, I change division to multiplication, and I flip. I do the reciprocal of 1 over 4, which is 4 over 1. And now I just solve this row. So what is 1 times 4? 4. And what is 2 times 1? 2. And when you simplify 4 over 2, you get 2. And that's it. All right, so let's work on these, and remember, some of them are going to have negatives. So 13 over 8 is going to go in the first box. then divided by, and then I have negative 1/2 in the next one. Then I'm going to do KCF, keep, change, flip, and I'm going to work my way down now. So I'm going to keep 13 over 8. I'm going to change division to multiplication, and I'm going to flip negative 1/2 to negative 2 over 1. Okay? Now, I'm going to show you two different ways to solve this. So the first way I'm going to show you is the way I just showed you a second ago. So I have 13 times negative 2. Now, just keep the negative. Actually, let me do it this way. You have a positive fraction times a negative fraction. So your answer is going to be negative. So just do it that way. Okay, so you have 13 times 2, which is 26. And then you have 8 times 1, which is 8. Now, you still need to simplify this. You need to reduce it. And so this is actually a fairly small fraction, and it's not very hard to reduce. So it's just going to reduce to negative 13 over 4. Okay, that's not that difficult. And the other thing I want you to start practicing to do is to give me the mixed number version as well. So that would be, let's see, negative 3 1/4. But I want to show you another method, and that's called cross-canceling. Okay, so I'm going to rewrite this right here. You have 13 over 8 times negative 2 over 1. All right, so you have a positive times a negative, so you know your answer is negative. Okay, so I'm not dealing with negatives right now. But what cross-canceling does is it allows you to simplify your answer before you multiply across. Okay, so look at the first fraction up and down. Can you simplify it? No. Then go over here. Can you simplify 2 over 1? No. Okay, now you're going to go diagonal. Can you simplify 13 over 1? No. Now go diagonal the other way. Can you simplify 2 over 8? Yes, you can. What would 2 over 8 be? Well, it would be 1 over 4. As long as you do those 4 checks, 1, 2, 3, 4, and you simplify each one of those ways, then your final answer will be simplified. So now watch. 13 times 1 is 13. 4 times 1 is 4. And that answer matches our simplified answer right there. Now, that comes in handy when you have huge numbers. Okay, so next one, negative 7 over 8 divided by 2/3. So we have keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep negative 7 over 8. We're going to change division to multiplication, and we're going to flip 2 over 3, and we're going to make it 3 over 2. Now, let's try the cross-canceling bit. Can 7 over 8 cancel? No. Can 3 over 2 cancel? No. Let's go diagonal now. Can 7 over 2 cancel? No. Can 3 over 8 cancel? No. And when I say cancel, I mean simplify. Okay? Now, if you get no for all 4 of those, that means you multiply straight across, and whatever your answer is, it's as simplified as it can be. So I have a negative times a positive, so my answer is negative. 7 times 3 is 21. 8 times 2 is 16. Now, make sure that you always read the directions on what you're working on. As long as I don't say anything, I'll take an improper fraction or a mixed number. However, sometimes I'm going to ask you for a very specific one, in which case I want whichever one I ask for. For purposes of the notes, I want us to do both. Okay? All right, let's try this one here. Negative 9 over 10 divided by 3 over 4. Keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep negative 9 over 10, change division to multiplication, and flip 3 over 4 to 4 over 3. So let's cross multiply. Let's do our checks. Can 9 over 10 simplify? No. Can 4 over 3 simplify? No. Let's go diagonal. Can 4 over 10 simplify? Yes, it can simplify to 2 over 5. 2 over 5. And for those of you that can't visualize it, the 4 is on top, the 10 is on the bottom. So it's like having 4 over 10, and it simplifies to 2 over 5. Okay? Now let's go the other way diagonally. Can 9 over 3 simplify? Okay, so if I had 9 over 3, what does that simplify to? 3 over 1. So 3 over 1. Now, I have a negative times a positive, which is a negative. So 3 times 2 is 6. 5 times 1 is 5. Now look at everything that I just canceled out. That would have been a lot of simplifying at the end, and now I have an answer that's already simplified. Let's make it a mixed number. 5 goes into 6 one time, and I have 1 left over, and the denominator is 5. All right, next one. So negative 8 over 9 divided by negative 6 over 7. So keep, change, flip. So keep negative 8 over 9. Change division to multiplication, and flip negative 6 over 7 to negative 7 over 6. Now I have a negative divided by a negative, so my answer is going to be positive. Okay, so let's do our checks. Can 8 over 9 simplify? No. Can 7 over 6 simplify? No. Let's go diagonal now. Can 7 over 9 simplify? No. Can 8 over 6 simplify? Yes. And if you have to come out to the side to write it, that's fine. So 8 over 6 would simplify to 4 over 3. So the 8 becomes a 4, and the 6 becomes a 3. Now 4 times 7 is 28. 9 times 3 is 27. And that's your answer, and it's already simplified. Now let's make this a mixed number. 1 and 1 over 27. All right, now we have a whole number in here. Remember how we do the reciprocal of whole numbers. 5 over 6 divided by 5. And I'm going to put it over 1. Keep, change, flip. So I'm going to keep 5 over 6, change division to times, and flip 5 over 1 to 1 over 5. Now, they're both positive, so my answer is going to be positive. Let's do my checks. Can I simplify 5 over 6? No. Can I simplify 1 over 5? No. Can I simplify 1 over 6? No. Can I simplify 5 over 5? Yes. So 5 over 5 would simplify to 1 over 1. Now, some of you may be thinking, why am I not going across? We cannot simplify across. We can only do up and down and diagonal. So 1 times 1 is 1. 6 times 1 is 6. And you cannot take this and make it a mixed number because it's a proper fraction. Okay? Now, we have some mixed numbers here. So what I would recommend is that when we put them into our tic-tac-toe, we change them into improper fractions because that's how we have to multiply. So 3 times 4 is 12, plus 2 is 14. So negative 14 over 3 divided by 4 times 2 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so 9 over 4. So keep, change, flip. So negative 14 over 3, change division to times, and flip 9 over 4 to 4 over 9. Now I have a negative times a positive, so my answer is going to be negative. So let's do our checks. Can 14 over 3 simplify? No. 4 over 9 simplify? No. 4 over 3? No. 14 over 9? No. So it's as simplified as it goes. So what's 14 times 4? Well, let's pull it out over here. 1, 6. So that's going to be 56 over what's 3 times 9? 27. And let's see, 27 times 2 is going to be 54. So that's going to be negative 2 and 2 over 27. All right, next one. So this is 2 times 4 is 8, plus 1 is 9, so negative 9 over 2, divided by 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, 5 over 2. So keep, change, flip. So keep negative 9 over 2, change division to times, and take 5 over 2 and flip it to 2 over 5. Now, you have a negative times a positive, which is a negative. So let's do our check. Can 9 over 2 simplify? No. Can 2 over 5 simplify? No. Can 2 over 2 simplify? Yes. So if I had 2 over 2, that simplifies to 1 over 1. Can 9 over 5 simplify? No. So it's as simplified as it goes now. So 9 times 1 is 9. 1 times 5 is 5. So my answer is negative 9 over 5. So 5 goes into 9 one time with 4 left over. And it's negative. Okay, next one. So we have a positive divided by a positive. So 2 times 6 is 12, plus 1 is 13 over 6. Divided by 4 times 3 is 12, plus 2 is 14 over 3. So we have keep, change, flip. So we're going to keep 13 over 6, change division to multiplication, and flip 14 over 3 to 3 over 14. I have a positive times a positive, so my answer is positive. Now let me do my checks. Can 13 over 6 simplify? No. Can 3 over 14 simplify? No. Can 3 over 6 simplify? Yes. 3 over 6 would simplify to 1 over 2. So the 3 becomes a 1 and the 6 becomes a 2. Can 13 over 14 simplify? No. So multiply across. 13 times 1 is 13. 2 times 14 is 28. And that cannot be made a mixed number. All right, you try these two. All right, go ahead and hit pause if you're not done. So for the first one, you should have gotten 1/2, and that one was pretty cool because you could cancel a couple of times. So I'm going to back that one up just a little bit here too, and I'm going to show you how I canceled that one. So 15 over 6, 5 over 1. So you can't do 15 over 6, you can't do 5 over 1, and you can't do 5 over 6. Oops, sorry, I flipped it wrong. I already didn't flip it this time. Hold on. So 1 over 5. Okay, so let me try that again. You can't do 1 over 6, you can't do 15 over 6, but you could do 15 over 5. So this is a 3, and this is a 1. But now you can do 3 over 6. So now this becomes a 1, and this becomes a 2. So now you have 1 times 1, which is 1, and 2 times 1, which is 2. All right, and then for this one here, you should have gotten 13 over 11, which is the same as 1 and 2 11ths. All right, try these last two. All right, go ahead and hit pause if you're not done. So for the first one, you should have gotten 28 over 9, or 3 1/9. And then for the second one, you have a positive divided by a negative, so you get -7 over 4, or 1 3/4. All right, that was a ton of practice, but we are going to do a lot more in class, so have no fear. Let me know if you have any questions.